You guys unaware, the rape inquiry just got published on the internet about 2 to 3 days ago. 217 pages of rapes that have happened to women and children in the United Kingdom that went undocumented because the police officers did not want to be racist and report them because they all came from migrant Muslim men. 96% of the rapes since 1950 were done by migrant Arabic Muslim men, which is insane. And so this woman, Donna Rachel, went on the internet and laughed about it. They laughed with people like Shoe on Head and many other great commentators saying things like, you know, Kaguya-sama saying, thank you for confirming that you're Jewish, or other great people like Milo saying, evil cunt. We have this person, Shoe on Head, who says, this is the shit you're evilly, smugly, glibly debunking by nitpicking semantics, fucking evil freak. We're gonna play a little bit of this, and I'm gonna show you these screenshots to give you full context. But yeah, let's talk about it.
The rape gang inquiry report is out. And I'm gonna try not to laugh, because it feels mean.
I don't really think we need to play this full clip. Maybe we will. 250,000 confirmed rapes happened on women and children. And this disgusting human being's reaction to it is to fucking laugh. Which, by the way, is a story that says things such as this. At 14, Fiona was abused by a man known as Rambo. He had entered Britain illegally in the back of a lorry. Previously castrated in Pakistan as a punishment for child abuse, he had then fled to the Philippines, where he allegedly attacked multiple women and children with a large knife. The origin of his nickname Rambo was locked in a room with 2 girls and subjected them to extreme sexual torture. This case illustrated that in some instances, the sexual abuse of children was driven more by humiliation and control by sexual gratification. She laughs at stories like this. Jane was taken to the bathroom by the girl who had been brought there and instructed to shave. She was told that she was being sold to the men for sex. Jane did not want to participate, but complied out of fear. She was then sexually abused by one of the men and made to sleep in a small child's bed afterwards. The following morning, the girl who took Jane to the flat was paid by the men. This occurred repeatedly over a period of months. Sometimes with multiple other girls present, Jane was told that she needed to gain weight to be more desirable to men. In response, Jane began purging, which developed into a severe eating disorder. Jane was blackmailed with the threat of prison by the peer if she disclosed her exploitation to anyone. Violence and intimidation became a commonplace at semi-independent living facility. On one occasion, a young woman returned to the accommodation intoxicated and distressed, saying that she had been abducted and sexually assaulted. The staff, who were aware that sexual exploitation was taking place in the site, but chose to do nothing about it, responded by accusing her of making it up. Eventually, Jane disclosed her own sexual exploitation to accommodation staff, including the trafficking and exchange of money. She was told that was happening did not constitute trafficking, as she was over the age of 16. The police were not contacted. No action was taken. Jane was blackmailed by staff with the threat of being blamed for the exploitation of her and others if she took her complaints any further. There's even more. Sarah endured a 12-year ordeal after being kidnapped from the street at the age of 15. During this period, she was repeatedly drugged with Valium, beaten, and raped. At one point, her abuser presented her with a certificate from the mosque and declared that they were married according to Islamic rites. Later, he divorced her under the Sharia procedure simply by stating, "I divorce you," 3 times. She was then immediately married in a ceremony conducted by an imam to a man she did not know. Within minutes of the ceremony ending, while the wedding party continued downstairs, she was raped by her new husband. Over the years, Sarah was subjugated to 8 forced abortions, 1 of the 5 months into pregnancy. When she accompanied her abuser to medical appointments, he required her to wear a hijab and walk 5 feet behind him. She was compelled to learn the Quran in Arabic and permitted to speak only Urdu and Punjabi. She was also made to cook and clean for the gang members who abused her. Sarah made several unsuccessful attempts to escape. On one occasion, after she reported her kidnapping to the police, she was interviewed by a Muslim officer who switched off the tape recorder and instructed her to drop her allegations because of lack of evidence. She later learned that this officer was imprisoned for child sex offenses. And there's more. Whistleblowers who tried to expose the truth, such as social worker Caven Vines, Tommy Robinson, and countless protective parents, were suspended, bankrupted, subjected to dawn raids, asset freezing, and gagging orders, the rule of law failed and racial religious aggravation was almost never applied. To the few that were convicted, foreign national offenders were rarely deported, and sentences bore no relation to the lifetime of destruction inflicted. All of these are true. All of these are heavily documented. And people like this laugh at real rapes, yet will dedicate their entire lives at going in on false allegations on men because they don't like them. They'll go in on false allegations like they do on Donald Trump's. And their response to 250,000 real rapes on women and children is to smile and laugh. Let's watch a little bit more.
The Rape Gang Inquiry report is out. And I'm going to try not to laugh because it feels mean. I haven't read the whole thing. It's 219 pages. It's only just come out a couple of hours ago.
She talks about it like it's The Hobbit. She talks about it like it's Lord of the Rings. It is a 219 page of proven rape, child sexual assault. And her response to this is to laugh. These people are monsters, guys. And these are the people that the internet say are the good guys.
Okay, so this time last year I went to Alistair Harrison and I explained to him that in order for the report to stand up to scrutiny when it was released, it needed a proper methodology and it needed a proper, what do they call it, terms of reference, okay? And that he needed somebody to create that, preferably with somebody with expertise. Although I said, I mean, I have some expertise being a journalist and having written reports. I was happy.
Wow, guys, are we surprised that this woman is a journalist? A very well-respected career in 2026. Oh, we love journalists.
To do that kind of work, but ideally it needed to be somebody who actually had, like, you know, proper grounding in things like statistical analysis and research methods and all that kind of stuff, right? So, so I actually wasn't going to do it myself. I was going to find people who do know how to do that thing. But I was going to at least steer it because I know what's kind of meant to you know, be there. Obviously, none of that got done because Alistair Harrison said to me, "We're not going to pay you." And I said, "Okay, but you still need someone to do all this stuff. We will just get ripped apart." And he said, "Don't worry, we've got a lawyer on it who's going to write it for free." Now, it turns out that they did not have a lawyer on it to write it for free. They had Josh Firm, who's from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, not a lawyer.
So, just to give you the TLDR of this clip, she's making fun of the 219-page manifesto of the 250,000 women and children real rape that are documented, that the police were intentionally ignoring in the UK. And she's making fun of it because it wasn't properly written. And she's nitpicking semantics that were used in the page. How about we just say that the acts that are described and transcribed in this document are abhorrent and truly terrifying, and we don't try to downplay 250,000 real rapes of women and children? Just a thought. These are the people who are running your media outlets. These are the people who are journalists, professional journalists, and these are people who are in charge of the public narrative. I think these people are absolute fucking monsters. Other people think they're the good guys, and that is the state of the world that we live in today. Disgusting. May God have mercy on their soul. That woman needs the death penalty.